Hello, everybody. My name is John Vincent Burrell, and I actually want to create a video blog entry about my time working for Yusen Logistics. I wanted to create this blog as an opportunity to be able to look at their strategic strategy and how they were able to move as an international company, a Japanese-based company, in Western markets. The very interesting thing about this blog is that when I first started it, I was still an employee of Yusen Logistics, and they ended up going through a period where they went into bankruptcy and they were forced to be able to sell off their assets. And they ended up having their logistics and transportation wing of their business actually sold to Transplace Texas as far as the Americas was concerned. And so it left me laid off along with the staff I worked for and, a lot of the division here that's in Memphis. And I ended up working as an account receivable specialist for them and ended up getting a lot of work done. But ultimately, it was just an experience that just taught me that without a strong strategic plan in place, that you can be able to lose everything. And I wanted to just be able to talk a little bit about that. One of the major things that I learned from being there was that using strategy for being able to develop financially and be able to develop growth was actually having a continued and a greater focus on their financials, but it was particularly in their accounts receivable. After a while, they were operating at about a $45.1 million deficit of accounts receivable that they hadn't had collected. And the reason why was that their management strategy that they had developed as far as relational business worked very well overseas in East Asia, Southeast Asia, and Oceania. It worked well there, but aspects of their business were just operating on a handshake agreement in the Western countries, and it wasn't working out quite as well. It would be an opportunity where, for example, we would move $1 million worth of freight for Coca-Cola, and then you're trying to collect so much money on the back end of it, and then they have, a window of time in which they have to pay a bill. I believe that they're at that point in time, their part of how they paid their bills was net 120. They had 120 days after, and then of course, bills always get lost in the mail, invoices get lost in the mail, and they have to be sent and redone over. And so, those created really difficult challenges for us to be able to overcome. I ended up working for my credit collections manager, Richard Rossi, and it was only a team of five of us. But for five of us, we were able, working with us and the branch that was in Florida, to be able to reduce that $45.1 million deficit down to $29.3 million through aggressive collections, through being able to analyze an issue, being able to identify what it is, isolate it, focus, and being able to push the issue towards management for them to be able to help us solve it, to help us be able to collect on that money. And it's just a valuable experience that taught me a lot about being able to research, being able to have a strong diagnostic approach to being able to determine what a problem is and how to being able to solve it. But, and I want to say this, focusing on the accounts receivable for a company in order to grow it is not an effective, strong, long-term means to be able to grow a business. I think I would equate it almost to if you had a house that was filled up with clutter and you decided, hey, I want to have more room in my house, so I'm just going to, just clean everything up on the inside. The truth of the matter is that you don't have more room and you didn't grow your property at all. The property is just being utilized in a different way. Even when it has that clutter, it's still being utilized. So even though we had the opportunity to be able to collect on all that money was already owed to us. We were being able to collect on our revenues. But the issue is that even despite that, we still didn't have any opportunity to grow, and our operating expenses just exceeded to the point to where they had to sell off and shut down the division. And so I sit here now, um, removed from that situation. I really love the people who I work with, but despite that, I was an accounts receivable specialist and I'm going through a layoff period. Now I'm a staff accountant, entered into the banking field. Very difficult, but still exciting. And I just wanted to be able to give up a summation of my experience working for Yusen Logistics, taking a look at their strategy, and how ultimately that failure to be able to capitalize and understand what was going on in the American market led to a big part of the division being sold to Transplace Texas and them having to maybe restructure their strategy to be able to focus more so in East Asia, Southeast Asia, and Oceania. I can only hope that they can learn from what happened and being able to increase their efforts more so in Europe and in Africa, and being able to reestablish themselves with a greater presence here in America. But here, I mean, as far as logistics carriers are, there's a dime a dozen. Sure, Houston has its own advantages, being horizontally integrated, having the opportunity to be able to have its own distribution channels, transportation, logistics, being able to have its own warehousing, storage, and being able to have its own coordinated shipping. But even still, there needs to be a lot more than that. And it's sort of a losing game you're fighting. You're fighting in a red ocean with tons of other competitors, varying sizes. So I would just like to just give this video. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate you for taking a look at my blog, and hopefully this has been able to kind of sum up my experience and my outlook, and hopefully what I think Houston's strategic strategy was and how they can move forward. Thank you so very much. Bye.